Wonder Woman issue 60. G. Willow Wilson. I said that weird. G. Willow Wilson.
There you go.
Writing and Carrie Nord on art. Also, and still no hints of the idea that Ares looks like Steve.
I have a theory on this.
Oh, for God's sake.
There's no need for a theory. There's nothing to theorize about.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. When we get to the end of the issue,
my theory is that you were just wrong.
No.
Okay, I think I know what your theory actually is, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah, because you know Greek mythology, right?
I do, yeah.
All right, I don't, so you can educate me when we get to the end of the
so
the second
we'll
half.
get there.
But the first half of the book is Wonder Woman and Ares fighting it out with some really good art and some really good action, where they basically start fighting because she's trying to stop him, and he's not understanding that he's actually making things worse, and he has to kind of slow down and think about what he's doing. And it has this really sort of emotional ending because eventually they stop, they've kind of calmed down a little bit, and Wonder Woman tries, work with me, do things a different way, but you can't do it this way where you just pick a side and like fight to the death. Like that's not how you're going to solve this.
You want to be the new Ares, but you're acting like the old Ares.
Yes.
Like something's got to change, buddy.
Yes, Ares is dead. Long live Ares.
Right.
So, but they hear crying, and there's a baby, like the village that he threw the missile down to. There's a baby in the debris, and it seems like no one else got hurt by the looks of it, or did they say that? I can't remember if it's specified.
I don't know, but just the image of Ares holding a baby, I was just like,
yeah, and
that is so weird, and I love it.
And realizing he's like, wait, I did this? Oh no, maybe I shouldn't be throwing missiles down into like towns. Oh no.
This is maybe my biggest problem with the book is that.
God.
Ares flip flops a bit, like twice.
Okay. Yeah.
The way that
Sure.
Both times felt really quick for him changing his mind.
I'm just used to your complaints being bullshit, and I always anticipate them.
But see, I like that if he's going to be a supporting character, which I feel like he's going to be.
It feels like he is, yeah.
Then him having to learn about this because it's a god coming to Earth.
No, I get it. It just felt a little bit quick for
It's
me.
actually kind of Thor-like in a way. Or at least I'm thinking of like
Thor.
The movie specifically, in the sense that he has to kind of learn humanity. And I'm sure that was in the comic as well, but I've not read enough classic Thor to actually say that it's like that.
Yeah.
So I'm just
I've read enough to say that yes, it is. And let's not overlook Wonder Woman lassoing the lightning.
Oh yeah, that was easily the most beautiful page of the book.
Yeah.
She throws the lasso into there. It's this 2-page layout, and she just strikes it down with lightning. It's beautiful.
Yep.
It is incredible. It is almost matched by her lassoing the sword and spinning it around and slicing the guns. I thought
that was pretty cool too.
Yeah, because the militia show up and are like not having it, and she's like, I'm not having it either, and she lasso. That's reminded me a little bit of the movie in the sense of her like coming in and just like destroying the guns to stop the conflict, and just like we're not doing this today. Stop it.
But I love that just the concept of her just throwing the sword up, lassoing it, and just swinging it around at them to get that.
No, it's really inventive in the action, and I think that's like obviously it's the great art's like executing it, but even the fact that Wilson said no, this is what we're doing for an action scene. This is what she's doing conceptually.
Yeah,
it's really exciting because it means I'm looking forward to what else we'll get action wise out of this run. Yeah, I wonder if it's like after like seeing like the scripts for our first like 6 issues or whatever, because obviously we're 3 in, but obviously they've seen ahead to whatever.
Right.
I wonder
because they don't offer her a contract for all of that straight away. They're like, right here, do an arc, and then we'll see how it goes.
I wonder if a more permanent, like not an exclusive contract, but I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if we hear about something, but because. Especially the first year of Rebirth, I feel like we were hearing about exclusive contracts like every 2 minutes. It's like they've been signed.
Those are all still in force, which is why we haven't heard about them again.
Yeah. So it wouldn't shock me.
This would be a pretty big grab for them in terms of exclusivity, as someone who has been, associated with Marvel for years. Yeah.
Well, and still, I feel like this keeps the companies fresh. If you're gonna do exclusives, and I feel like in sports where they can trade players, so I just feel like. It freshens things up. If people that have worked at DC for a while, I'm not saying John's will always be DC, but
don't take my favorite, but everyone else is fair game.
Yeah, anyone else fair game.
But anyway, so the action was great. I love that after she dealt with the militia, she notices Ares is still floating in the sky, so she goes up to meet him, and we have this conversation just floating in the sky. Where she wants to know where Steve is, and he's like, yeah, sorry, that's not me.
I have nothing to do with him.
I don't know where
yes.
I don't know where your boy Steve. Toy is. He's somewhere. And that's when we come back to where Steve is with these mythical creatures, and the cliffhanger here is that Aphrodite is with them.
Aphrodite.
Aphrodite, yes, Aphrodite, yes.
Yep. And she looks kind of similar to Diana.
Yeah, a little
here.
bit.
So, but I always like the take on Aphrodite that she looks as different to everybody because it's whatever your idea of love is.
Yeah.
Or, desire.
I like just the casual t-shirt.
Yeah, she's just sitting there.
It's
and
different.
She reminded me of someone.
Like
Obviously, she makes us think of Diana because I agree with that. But she made me think of someone specifically other than that, like an actress, I think. Let me look on.
She kind of looks like Kristen Ritter to me.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting.
See that.
I'm getting Kristen Ritter from her. Yeah.
But so here's my theory on this: is I don't feel like artists do stuff not on purpose. So I feel like if you know mythology, Ares and Aphrodite are a thing in mythology, even though Aphrodite's married to Hephaestus. And so part of the story is always Hephaestus is trying to catch them cheating, but they always
Hephaestus is an ugly son of a bitch.
Exactly. And so and the fact that at least me and some other people seem to think that Ares' new form looks like Steve, and here Aphrodite's looking like Diana, I'm feeling we're supposed to draw parallels between Steve and Diana and Ares and Aphrodite. Eventually, that's where the story's going to be going.
Could be. I'm wondering, is Aphrodite kind of manipulating Diana
and I think,
to maybe see Steve a little bit?
Yeah, and that's what I'm thinking. Is that down the line in a couple issues, we'll see that this is part of the plan.
If that's the case, then fair play.
Yeah.
If it's just thematic, then that's also fair play.
Well, because I was getting a little upset, going like, okay, then why change him? And then I got to the end of this issue and I was like, okay,
I think
she looks like Diana.
I think my only critique of this, if this all turns out to be the case, would be that it seems a lot more obvious in the art than it is to Diana, who should probably be mentioning it if it's as blatant as this. Where if it's more subtle and gradual, where she notices those qualities of Steve kind of bleeding through over time, then it maybe shouldn't have been as obvious to us immediately, or at least to Matt.
Right.
Yeah, at least to Matt. Yeah.
So yeah.
You don't take a guy that we had just seen and was dark haired and dark eyed and turn him into a blonde haired, blue eyed dude. I'm starting to warm up to the art a little more here for the reasons you guys were saying. The action, right? But there's still not to Connor on the art. There's still some that faces don't look quite right to me. There's kind of a rough quality to some of it.
Anything else we want to add on Wonder Woman, which I think is shaping up to a really good run.
One of my favorite touches in the art is when she's throwing up the sword to lasso it.
Yes.
It goes over the panel into the next panel, and it's one of the only times in the issue that it happens like that. There's only a handful of occasions in the book where it does that, where it overlaps, and it just really accentuates the height of it without actually showing it.
Yeah, no, the action's phenomenal. And this makes me really excited for what's coming throughout future stories. So, we'll rate the book then. Matt, what are you giving Wonder Woman 60?
This one was a 8.5. I like this one more than the other two so far.
There you go. Connor?
I'm going an 8. It's just knocked down a little bit because I think Ares changed his mind a little bit too quickly. Twice.
I will agree with Matt and go with 8.5. I thought this was really good.